Hello, science students. Mr. Grange here. I'm going to talk about converting from one unit to another, and my favorite method, which is the factor labeling. Converting means when you want to change one unit that's been measured in into another. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. You can also use this for metric system conversions. So here's just an example of a measurement that you may have taken in good old American inches, and your science teacher wants you to convert this to these evil metric system units. They're not really evil. They're actually much easier to use. First, we want to know the conversion equality. How many centimeters is equal to 1 inch, or how many inches are equal to how many centimeters. Okay, and this is usually set up so that you have exactly one of the units, and you have some amount of the other unit. Okay, both of these would work. Maybe I'll even show you both. Okay, so let's just look at this equality for a second. If I write this out, 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. These are equal to one another. If I have 1 inch, this is how many centimeters it would be. Okay, I can look at this instead of as an equality, but as a fraction. So if I divide both sides by 2.54 centimeters, and I divide this because it's in equal sign, I have to do, if I do something to one side, I have to do it to the other, so 2.54 centimeters divided by that to both sides. Over here, a number divided by itself and a unit divided by itself is just going to equal 1, right? So over here, this cancels, is one way we look at it, or equals 1, okay? Same thing. Alrighty, so this is now it's my equality fraction. And this is useful now to convert this number. See where this comes from. Anytime you have an equality, you just take one and divide by the other. And really what you want to look at is, what do I have? You want that on the bottom of your fraction. So for this one, right, I could just take the reciprocal of this. This would also be equal to 2.54 centimeters divided by 1 inch. Either way, you could do it either way works. They mean the same thing, okay? So I'm going to erase this. These are equal to each other. And so what I'm going to take is I'm going to take this fraction and I'm going to multiply it by the number that I have. Okay? And the reason I want to use this one is because what I have is in inches, so 8.96 inches. And I want to multiply it by this fraction. Okay? So that really this is 8.96 inches times 2.54 divided by 1 inch. And so now I have inches divided by inches, which, as we just saw, cancels or is equal to 1. Okay? And so now, if I divide by 1, I still get 8.96. And so now all I have to do is multiply these two numbers by each other. So I pull out my handy-dandy calculator, plug in my numbers, 8.96, 8.96, multiplied by 2.54. Gives me an answer of 22.8, if I round to 3 significant digits. Oops. 22.8 equal to, and the unit left over would be centimeters, which makes sense because, box my answer, inches are bigger than centimeters, so the number of centimeters should be larger than the number of inches when we compare them. Just like in our equality, 2.54 is numerically bigger than 1, so we should have a bigger number here. Good way to check yourself. Okay. Now, another way to look at this is what I like to do is I like to use this as a chart, factor label chart. And so what you can think about is instead of writing this fraction out, if I put a chart like this, so anything on the bottom is division, anything on the top is multiplication. So now I don't have to think about my fraction, I can use this factor labeling chart. Okay. Let me give an example. The reason that makes it so easy is because you can do many conversions all at once. So let's say that I am, as you all know, I am turning 95 in December. So I am 94 years old. Okay. Let's say my science teacher or someone wanted to know, well, how many seconds old are you? 94 years. I've gone around the sun 94 times, almost 95. Okay. And so, okay, well, I want to say, well, how many seconds are in a year? I don't know that. But I do know some other equalities. I know that in 1 year, that's equal to 365.2422 days, right? I know that 1 day is equal to 24 hours. I know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So I know all these equalities. It seems like a lot of math. It seems very confusing. But I know that these can be broken up into fractions, where the 1 is on one side of the fraction and the other, and this number is on the other. Okay. So if I set up my chart here, and I like straight lines. Straight edges are nice, rulers are nice. If I put a nice long straight line here, okay, and nice straight line here, you might not be as good at drawing straight lines as me, but with practice you can get there. Okay, so I have 94 years here. So this is what I have here. Oops, still drawing straight lines. And I have years, and I want to go all the way down here to seconds. And so I can break this down and use this chart. Okay, so I have 94 years, and I want to get to seconds. So I say, okay, well, 1 year, I want to put that opposite. So this is on the top. I want to put this years on the bottom. So I put years down here. And I put the days on the top. So I would want to multiply this by 365.2422 days. Okay? And not as straight. I'm getting tired here. And so that would, if I multiply those numbers, I would convert to days. But I want to keep going. So I want to say, okay, well, 1 day, I have this equality. So I put days on the bottom, so the days cancel. Equals 24 hours. So I put that on top. And I put 1 hour on the bottom, and that is 60 minutes. And I have 1 minute, and so I put 60 seconds. And so you can see here, it's actually a good way to check yourself, a good way to use the chart. I don't have to write all these fractions out. I can just do it, and I can do it all in just one foul swoop. Okay. And if you notice, I have years and years on the bottom, so the years will cancel, be 1. Days and days will cancel. This is why you can check if you've set it up correctly. Days cancel. Hours and hours cancel. Minutes and minutes cancel. So everything cancels. So it's actually a good way to make sure that you set it up. If they don't cancel correctly, if you get squared or something, if I put the wrong thing on the top and the wrong body gets squared, it wouldn't cancel. I can check myself. And so what I left with is seconds, which is what I'm trying to find. Okay. So now I pull out my trusty handy dandy calculator and plug these numbers in. 94 times 365.2422 days. Almost a quarter of the day. That's why we have leap year. Times 24 hours times 60 minutes times 60 seconds. Gives me a grand total of, it's a lot of numbers, 296635, 296635, whoops, 105, 1.5. It's always changing because it's seconds, right? We'll just keep it a whole number. Okay? So that's how many seconds old I am right now. That's a big number. Let's see if we can even name this. Thousands, 100,000s. So that's 296,635. Nope. Nope. Missed the spot here. That is 2,966,351,051 seconds. It's a lot of seconds. Okay, it's kind of a big number. Maybe we put that in scientific notation and round to this might help. So I'm about, let's round to 2.966 times 10 to the 3, 6, 7, 8, to the 9th. I'm almost 3 billion seconds old. 3 billion seconds old. Kind of fun. Maybe you can calculate how old in seconds you are. That's your challenge. Good luck. And until next time, Mr. Grange signing out.